So yesterday, I did a video talking about the Player Choice winner for the Game Awards, which I think is the most important award because it's the only one that involves the voice of the player. That's why. Who cares what game journalists think is the game of the year? And you know they're going to unanimously pick Last of Us Part 2. That's going to be rolling in Game Awards when it's all over. And I think that happens today, actually. So I'm pretty sure they're going to sweep all the awards. It's going to be the greatest game ever made. Pretty sure every outlet is going to give it Game of the Year. Because these people have shilled for it all year. All year. Just like in yesterday's video, I showed you how when Naughty Dog made a 15-second update trailer, every single video game outlet was writing articles about it. It's a 15-second trailer. Better write a whole article. It was actually pretty comical. Actually, that wasn't in yesterday's video. That was in a video I did a couple days ago. It seems to me they're desperate for Christmas sales. Maybe that's just me, but that's the vibe I was getting. And then, of course, the games media, they're there to boost them up. But anyway, everybody went out and voted in droves for Ghost of Tsushima and end up winning Player's Voice. It's going to be very funny because here's all these game journalists voting for Last of Us Part 2 to get all these awards at the Game Awards, and then they're going to come up to Player's Voice. Oh, it's Ghost of Tsushima. Once again, the contrast between actual gamers and journalists is quite different. That's because journalists, or gaming journalists anyway, don't even really play video games. They don't. They're more like activists than video game players. That's why you see Greg Miller running around in a Biden shirt. And there's several reasons for that, but I'm not going to get into that. I want to point out the salt that flowed from that Player's Choice win that Ghost of Tsushima got. So I made this post before I even made a video. Great job, everyone, because everybody went out and voted. There was a lot of awareness that was brought to what was going on. And here's what's funny. Before we get into the allegations here that there was hacking, which there wasn't, spoilers, there's this account here from the guy who runs the gaming awards. There was no hack. Web team looked into this. It was just a temporary outage for about 10 minutes. What he's talking about is the fact that the Game Awards site went down. That was likely due to high traffic as people were trying to get their last-minute votes in. I mean, there was a lot of people voting, I'm sure, from both sides of the aisle. But here's the thing. If Neil Druckmann hadn't have opened his mouth and tried to get his 400,000 something followers to go vote for that game, Last of Us 2 might have won that award because nobody was really looking at it. But then Neil decided to flap his gums and try to get everybody to go vote for his game because it was sitting at a 40-something% while Ghost of Tsushima was sitting at like 30-something%. And then he realized what he did wrong, and he deleted that tweet, but it's too bad because people had already archived his tweet, and everybody rushed in to go vote. And, well, history is there. So here's the thing. People aren't willing to accept it. They think there was a hacking, even though the guy that runs the Game Awards confirms there's no hack. This is from his Reset Era account, by the way. That's why it looks like this. Reset Era, by the way, they're melting down. They had to lock this thread. Game Awards site hacked into. Update, it wasn't hacked. But all kinds of salt here flowing about that. Of course, Reset Era doesn't like that. They champion Last of Us 2. Champion that game. But you go over to Twitter. That post I made, which actually got a lot of traction, 2K likes, 93 quote tweets, 167 retweets. They desperately tried to ratio me. That didn't work. Only got 142 comments. About, I would say 70 of those were a bunch of people in there hating, saying, like, virgin. Imagine voting for anything but the Last of Us. Like, there was a lot of salt. The salt was flowing quite beautifully yesterday. I I thoroughly enjoyed all of the salt. But you can see here, here's the big excuse that someone hacked the Game Awards. And you would show people, hey, this didn't happen. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. They said it's still hacking because they can't believe that Ghost of Tsushima beat that game. When I'm sorry, but Ghost of Tsushima, for a lot of reasons, is a more enjoyable game to the average gamer. Because for one, it's a fun game. Two, it's not depression quest simulator like Last of Us 2. Three, it didn't divide a fan base. Last of Us 2 definitely divided the Last of Us fan base, for sure. Ghost of Tsushima didn't do that. Like, in my opinion, there's more fans that would vote for that game over The Last of Us Part 2. It's just my opinion. I think I'm probably in the correct here. So here's one thing. They're always pointing this out. This wasn't the end result. This was an error. And like I said, it was confirmed by the guy that runs the account, or that runs the Game Awards. But they want to run with this narrative. This was a glitch. That wasn't the final tally. It was like, it wasn't 100%. It was like 47 something percent. And Last of Us Part 2 had a high 30 something percent, I believe. I don't quite remember, but they're just posting that, saying that that's the reason or whatever. And then you go and you check out all the news coverage, because of course they wanted to write about this. There's a couple of articles. This one's from comicbook.com, and they're like talking about, here's the thing. We can't understand why it won, because up until this point, The Last of Us 2 had 40-something percent, but for some reason, it didn't matter. IGN does the same thing. They talk about it down here, talking about how Last of Us 2 climbed to 43%, while Ghost of Tsushima only had 31%. Of course, leaving out the Neil Druckmann part. These are supposed to be journalists. You think they would understand what happened there when Neil Druckmann started to activate his shills to go vote for that game. They leave that out. They just say, we don't know what happened. How the hell did Ghost of Tsushima jump to 47%? I don't understand. We've done so much sipping for this game. We write article after article after article about how great it is. We're going to give it Game of the Year. It kind of breaks our narrative when we say that Ghost of Tsushima got Player's Choice Award. That would mean the fans don't really listen to us. Then you go to PC Gamer. They didn't even screw around. They put it right in the title or in the sub-headline. Ghost of Tsushima wins the publicly voted player's voice at the Game Awards. It was a tough fight against The Last of Us Part 2, but there are suspicions of hacking. No, they're not. There's no suspicions. But all of these articles, it's funny, that are written on this, they all point out, there's something real goofy going on. Definitely wasn't Neil Druckmann. Shills to the end. I find it quite humorous. But this is definitely hilarious, because I liked it. They wanted it. See, it would have been really good for the narrative that it's a fringe group that don't like that game if it had won. It would have been. But now, you know, the player's voice, the people, they vote for Ghost of Tsushima. So it's going to be really funny when when they all hand out all these awards and Neil goes and sits down and they say, now, for player's voice, Ghost of Tsushima. Well, wait a second. All these journalists here, they're all giving Last of Us 2 all these awards. Well, the players, they should have voted for that one too. Don't they listen to these people? No. Nope. They don't. And that's what's hilarious. And they know it, and they can't stand it. And it really eats them up. This is why they were all bitching about free codes yesterday in that Cyberpunk video that I did. They're all salty that a bunch of YouTubers were getting the free crates and merchandise, and they're getting nothing. Because everyone's starting to recognize that game journalists don't have the player's ear anymore. They've shamed them away. Everyone wants to go. When I go and read about a game, I want to read about what the game is and if it's fun or the mechanics. I don't want to read about some bullshit political agenda that you want to insert into the review. See Polygon Kotaku for that. Even IGN at this point. PC Gamer for sure. All of them are corrupt. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Another congratulations to Ghost of Tsushima. I think the player awards are today. That should be hilarious. I'll make a video on that outcome tomorrow. You already know Last of Us is going to sweep everything. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Also, if you would, please like and subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.